Mulțumim, domnul Stier Davor, 2 minute.
Mr. President, the recurrent tragedies in the Mediterranean, in which thousands of people are risking their lives almost on a daily basis in order to reach the shores of Europe, clearly show an ever-growing need to continue, strengthen, but also refocus our development policy and to rethink the ways of financing for development. Poverty, war, but also the lack of freedom and bad governance is what makes desperate people to undertake dangerous journeys in the search for a better life in Europe, and development cooperation is an important part of the answer to this challenge. We all agree in the last session in Strasbourg that development is important, but we need to remember it now when we are talking about the financial contributions. Thus, I support the rapporteur and the Commission in their call to the Member States to recommit to the 0.7% of GNI to official development assistance, taking into account national budgetary constraints, but also taking into account that the EU needs to remain the leader of global development efforts. I also share the rapporteur's views that we need a truly global partnership and that all developed countries, as well as emerging and middle-income economies, should take their fair share of burden in the fight against poverty. Furthermore, we need a completely new approach to financing development. We need to go beyond ODA and work on mobilising all types of finance, public and private, international but also domestic. In all these efforts ahead of the third international conference in Addis Ababa, we need to be aware of the fact that finance alone will not be sufficient. Policies are of fundamental importance in achieving sustainable development goals. We need policies that will ensure that financial resources are used effectively and in areas that will bring to further mobilisation of resources and sustainable development. We need to invest into enablers of development, and yes, most of all, we need to invest in good governance. If we get back, for example, to the issue of migration, we will see that this is the key question, the question of governance. Many migrants are not even extremely poor, but they are all extremely desperate. They are ready to give thousands of euros to traffickers because there is not good governance. Therefore, our development policy needs to focus on this, and the conference in Addis could be an important opportunity to make a significant step into that direction. Thank you.
Ați un blue card din partea domnului Rubig. Okay, Mr. Rubig.
Ja, recht herzlichen Dank, Herr Präsident. Ich möchte den Kollegen Stier fragen, was er davon hält, dass man auch Familienbetriebe in den Entwicklungsländern unterstützen sollte, weil ja sie letztlich den Wohlstand erarbeiten. Es geht ja nicht nur, dass man Geld ausgibt, sondern es muss Hilfe zur Selbsthilfe geben. Und nur wenn Wohlstand erarbeitet wird, kann auch ein Staat die notwendigen Steuermittel einnehmen. Glauben Sie, dass es möglich ist, auch mit einer besseren Finanzverwaltung in den ärmsten der armen Ländern gerechte Situationen herzustellen?
Well, thank you. Well, yes, I do agree with that, Mr. Rubik, and that's why I said that we also need to invest and support those that could be enablers of development and those who could also, with their contribution, with their growth, make support a sustainable development in their countries. And of course, supporting SMEs, supporting family business should be seen into that context. So, from my side, I could agree with your question. Thank you.